Hi guys, so I'm just going to go through and quickly show you what my expectations are around your Mirka Mora artwork. Okay, so Mirka Mora was another really prolific Australian artist, especially around the 1950s. She actually recently died, and I think you'll probably see, you may have even seen some of her work in the news for that very reason, because she's so famous. So what she's really well known for is using these motifs and images over and over again, often of like really wide-eyed children and angels, as well as different animals like snakes, birds, dogs and cats. And often she would make hybrid versions of them. So she would put together animals and humans, and she, like the other two Australian artists we've looked at, Sydney Nolan and Ken Doan, is also really well known for this childlike illustrative kind of style in her work. All right, so she's not painting like you know, a lot of artists may have become quite well known for at the time. She likes to keep things quite childish and naive. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to select an artwork that you like the look of, and you're going to come up with something similar or maybe your own version of it. All right, and for the sake of this activity, I'm going to keep it quite simple, and I'm just going to look at this artwork here with the girl holding the little bird and the boy over her shoulder, and you know, these tall plants and things. For this artwork though, guys, you're actually going to be using charcoal. Okay, now charcoal is like a chalk pastel. Okay, and it's really messy. Okay, so you are going to need to wear art smocks for this activity. All right, and if you want to first sketch super lightly your design on your paper, you can, and then come over the top with your oil, with your charcoal. Okay, so I'm going to, like I said, focus on this one. So I'm going to start, I'm going to change the composition a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put that sun in this side. Right, I learnt to draw eyes in a similar shape to Mirka Mora, actually, with this arch and then the circle underneath. Pretty cute. So now my girl, all right, my lady, I'm not sure what she is. So notice how, I don't want her to look like she's frowning. I want her to look like she's smiling. Really simple, and I'm actually looking at this artwork as I draw. So she has a really funny way of drawing birds. They almost look like, I don't know, weird fish or something. I don't know, it's kind of strange, but I really like it. Because this is such a simple childlike drawing, it's going to really suit those people who don't feel like they've got good drawing skills, I feel, because you can, you know, it doesn't really matter if you make mistakes. Okay, so she's cropped. Okay, I haven't put her all in. Now, you know, I might try putting in a few of the weird looking animals down the bottom. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, remember. It should just kind of be inspired. I'm going to do like one of the Mirka Mora style birds down here. You can even look at all of the different artworks in here and add some things. I might actually make my girl, because she loves to draw these kind of angel figures. I might make her a little angel as well, you know, and put some things in the background. So as far as the charcoal goes, because it's quite thick, I would actually start by using the corner. All right, so I'm going to start by just going over the top of those grey lead lines, all right? And you'll notice I'm being quite careful because of the shape of the charcoal. It can be a little bit difficult to control, and I'm actually trying to use these pointy sections so that I get a nice fine line, all right? So once you've sketched, come over with your charcoal carefully, all right? Now, something nice about charcoal and chalk pastels in general is that you can smudge them, all right? You will get messy, but this is what we do. We grab our finger and just lightly rub, bring that the charcoal from the edges into the center. Now, I wouldn't be using it all the time. I've got a little bit of residue on my fingers, so maybe I'll just lightly, put a bit of tone in on her cheeks, maybe just a little bit across the top of her forehead. Okay, I'm going to put some circles on the wings just because they're looking a little bit plain. All right, but I love the mix of this kind of grey, soft texture that you can achieve when you smudge your charcoal, and this really dark, bold, contrasting texture of just the plain charcoal. So have a play around with that. Try not to go overboard in the sense that try and have a mix of the two. So I might put a little bit more detail in her hair now over the top. Now, because this smudges so much, what we will actually be doing at the very end when you're done is spraying it with a fixative so that you still won't be able to rub it, but so that it doesn't move too much. It's almost like a spray glue, and it holds the chalky texture of the charcoal onto your paper. All right, so just think about when you're choosing your imagery, potentially combining some of the imagery from a few of Mirka Mora's artworks. Remember that when you use the charcoal to try and find a point to start with, okay, because it is quite thick and a little bit tricky. If you want to grab a piece of scrap paper first and actually have a play around with it, that might be a really good idea. And if you want to sketch first, you can, but if you're feeling confident, you can do what I've just done and go straight on the paper. All right, but try and fill up your space, try and make it interesting, and try and really make it obvious that it is inspired by Mirka Mora, and don't be afraid to play around with that smudging technique, will you? All right, good luck, guys.